Yo, it's your boy Marcus Morsini back from the video. Today we're going to be talking about the future of COD Mobile collaborations or collabs and what we have going on now versus what we're expecting to see, what's been leaked, and then what's going to happen on the console side. So what we could see, if they just go copy and paste mode and just copy what they did over there into COD Mobile and what they've already done. So let's talk about it, right? So in my opinion, with the collabs, there's a bunch of collabs in COD Mobile. I have no idea what they are, right? We just had the near automata, whatever it is. I have no clue what that is. Like, I had to ask people in game who knew what that was because I have no idea. I've never heard of that. I'm not into like anime or like, I don't know, those types of video games like that. Like, I really only play COD. That's all I do. I play COD and I play COD on console, and that's it. That's all I play. Other games, you know what I mean? There are other games from like my past when I was much younger that I played. You know what I mean? Baseball Superstars, Backyard Baseball. I played a lot of sports games as a kid, so like I can understand like sports collabs and things like that. But that's not really what we've seen a lot of in COD Mobile. I feel like we've seen like the next one is a Gundam collab. Once again, I have no clue what that is. You know what I mean? Like, I have no idea. What is that, anime? Is it hentai? What is that? I don't have no clue. I could look it up, obviously. I don't really care to. I'm not really that interested in the collab, right? If it was a collab I was interested in, I had to talk with a friend, and I forgot about the Saw collab. I love the Saw movies, but I didn't buy the Saw collab. You know what I mean? So that was kind of like, you know what I mean? That's like something I would be interested in, and I still didn't buy it. So that's one of the CODM collabs that's been not only on CODM, but it was also on console. It was on console first back in like Modern Warfare 2019, right? The Jigsaw collab, and you'd see people running around with it. They've also had like Scream. The Scream collab was a huge success, right? I remember seeing people running around with the Scream guy everywhere, literally everywhere, right? And we've had previous collabs that have kind of overlapped. I believe Rambo was one of them, and that kind of overlapped as well. I think there's also a Snoop Dogg that has overlapped as well in both games. But there are some collabs that haven't been in both games. And then there are some old collabs that I also like to talk about with super cool potential. We'll kind of end the video off on that. But some console collabs that may be coming, right? Godzilla and Kong, right? So that was a big collab back in Call of Duty Vanguard, because I actually bought the Godzilla skin. It's a super bright, just like cape over the back of Godzilla with the mask in the front. Super bright. Horrible for Vanguard, because Vanguard was dark and dingy, and then you'd see this big blue-eyed Kong or Godzilla looking dude, and you could spot him a mile away. So it was terrible for the game. Absolutely terrible. And then you had Kong. Kong had one of the coolest animations for the execution like ever. Like, he would literally pick up a guy, spin him, and then throw him like a million miles. It was awesome. That was like probably one of the best. And then you had the Terminator, but they've had so many types of Terminator like renditions, I guess. I think the T-1000, which was like the cop, but the cop turns into like all silver. I had that one back in Vanguard. I play a lot of Vanguard. I've grinded that game. And then right now in Warzone currently on console, they have a Terminator where it's like a skinny bot. Like, he's so skinny, he's harder to hit. Quite literally pay to win. And then they've had like the actual Terminator, like Arnold Schwarzenegger Terminator looking dude. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of variations of the same characters that they've already had before that they've kind of done. Now with CODM, they've also done the Near Automata. I guess I'm saying that right. And then Seven Deadly Sins apparently was one they did a while back. I don't remember that at all. That's not something, I guess, is that anime too? I have no idea what that is. So I'm assuming anime. I don't watch anime, like I said already, so I have no idea. If they do anime collabs at all, I have no clue what they are. I've watched like one episode of Hunter x Hunter, and that's my extent of anime experience. And to me, it's all like anime and hentai are like the same thing, but one's a little bit more X-rated, in my opinion. Like, I'm assuming that's how that works. I have no clue, right? But COD Mobile being based and made, I guess, by Activision Shanghai, that's a way bigger thing over there. You know what I mean? So bringing that to the global scale makes sense, because they're just, you know what I mean? That's who's making it. Now, a couple of things that are also in here are like YouTubers, right? iFerg has his own skin. I believe Bobby and Hawksnest also have their own skins in the game. So that's pretty cool, right? Being able to, if you are one of those people, that's really cool. You know what I mean? Having that opportunity to do that. That's super exciting. And then soccer players, I think Pogba, I don't know, maybe, is that his name? I don't know what soccer player that is, but I think he's in here. I think there's also a Kevin Durant. I have like the emblem for Kevin Durant. So like, I think there's been quite a few collabs in terms of people. So I was wondering what would be some future collabs and some maps, right? Because there are opportunities for them to bring back, as they've done, previous Call of Duty maps back to COD Mobile. And could those be collabable maps? So the two that I am referring to, for those who remember back in Call of Duty Ghosts, some of you guys probably weren't around in Call of Duty Ghosts, but Call of Duty Ghosts was after Black Ops 2, right? It's like 2013 area. And it brought us a couple of banger DLC maps. One was called Fog, and on Fog, it had Michael Myers as a playable streak, right? So you'd complete what was called a field order. After you killed somebody, they dropped the field order, then you complete that field order once you picked it up, and then you could call in Michael Myers, and then you would run around with an axe, and you were faster than everybody. And then the music would start playing. Once you got it called in, the music would start playing, and you would just go slashing people. It was awesome. You had extra health. It was dope. Look how I died to this guy. Somebody nerfed the melee. Somebody nerfed the melee. I already saw next season's patch notes. They're not nerfing it. It's insane. Nerf it. Anyway. And then there's another opportunity, right? Because that map Fog was like a dark themed map, so it fit that aesthetic well. And then Ruins was another map from that game, another DLC map, and it had another playable field order, which turned into the Predator. So you would play as the Predator, which, as you can imagine, was pretty overpowered, right? You would literally go camouflage, and then you would have like the actual Predator shooting thing. It was like a mix of having a rocket launcher, the Predator like rocket launcher shooting thing, on your arm, while you could also run around with like the specialist that's in this game called the Shadow Blade. It was like having a mix of that. So that was absurdly cool. Obviously, everybody loved it. Made those maps super fun to try to get those things. And Ghost actually did that with two other maps, but they weren't actual people that they necessarily collabed with, right? Departed had its own special streak, and Pharaoh was another DLC map that also had its own special streak. But those aren't necessarily the same collabs that I was thinking of when I thought of the first two, because those had different, like it was more like full specialists and other things. Now, what are the future options, right? I definitely could see us getting some anime of some kind, right? I could imagine, I could see a world where we get like Goku. I think that's an anime character that I know. Maybe like something like that. Maybe if they collab with like other games in a way, right? Imagine we get like Tekken characters in COD Mobile that we could play as, or Mortal Kombat, right? Just running around as Sub-Zero, you know what I mean? Like, there will be some opportunities where stuff like that would be also very intriguing for people to get. And then another sort of opportunity, I guess you could say, is for them to bring in those field orders and then maybe make their own new maps, right? An own new creative map, right? Like, I know that in Warzone now, there's the Terrifier. I believe from the Terrifier movies, the horror movies. That would be a pretty interesting person to bring back, maybe around Halloween time, because Halloween's an easy one to theme around, right? Theming around Halloween is very simple and very effective. People would be super interested to be running around as a Terrifier. And then you could make a map themed to that theme where he's like, I don't know, in like somebody's house or something. I don't know what the idea would be, but you get the point, where you could make maps based around collabs that you're bringing into the game, right? Because they have made their own unique maps a couple times. I believe Coastal and Tunisia are the two that come to mind. I don't think there's another one. Korohana Metropolis is also a COD Mobile exclusive map, I believe. So they've had their opportunities, and they've made some quality maps that people seem to enjoy, and those have been very helpful to like the map pool for ranked, right? They keep them in the ranked map pool for a reason. That being said, this video is coming to an end. We just kind of clutched up this game here at the end. Let me know your thoughts on what collabs you'd like to see, whether it's like video game collabs or anime collabs, or actual people coming back to the game, right? Like people like football players or soccer players or basketball, baseball, whatever it may be. that could possibly come back to COD Mobile. Maybe even a creator or something like that that doesn't have a skin yet that you'd like to see get one. I know like there's a lot of creators that are very popular. People like Dazzy. I don't know who Dazzy is, but maybe if Dazzy got their own skin, people would be excited about that. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications if you want to. 31-10 in this one. Very tight game, as you can see by the scoreboard. It's been your boy Marcus Morcini. I'm out of here. Peace.